This question, you're talking about more legislation. Why don't you enforce the tools you have? Why don't you enforce the tools you have? Why don't you enforce the Remain in Mexico policy? Why don't you enforce the Third Safe Country policy? Why don't you keep Public Health Order 42 in place? And why don't you finish building the wall so that your Customs and Border Patrol people and the Border Patrol can actually get control of the border? Why not enforce the laws that you have now instead of sit there and ask for new ones?
Senator, I'm grateful for your question because we are indeed enforcing the laws.
The statistics would say otherwise. 1.7 million illegal encounters last year, more than 1 million in the first 6 months of this year. Are you going to sit there and pretend that's not going on and say that you're actually enforcing the law?
Oh, we most certainly are, Senator, and let me share with you how we are doing so. Because please remember that the Title 42 authority is not an immigration law. It is a public health authority that rests in the exclusive jurisdiction of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. The CDC decides whether the public health imperative compels Title 42 to remain in place or not, and they have made a decision.
You don't need to explain what it is to me. My question to you is, when the administration lifts it, and you're already at more than 1 million illegal encounters this year, what are you going to do? Because that number is going to go up dramatically. So you're content to let these numbers continue to escalate?
Oh, absolutely not, Senator, and allow me to share with you exactly what we are doing. Number one, we are surging resources, personnel, transportation, medical support, facilities. Number two, we are increasing and enhancing Customs and Border Protection processing efficiency through enhanced central processing sites.
Meaning you're just going to put people, so you're just going to have more people come across faster. Your plan is just designed to enable you to have more people come across faster. Is that what you're saying?
No, quite the contrary. Number three, we are imposing consequences, expedited removal, criminal prosecutions when the facts are warrant.
Let me ask you this question.
Four.
The Supreme Court told you to enforce the Third Safe Country Protocol. That decision came down in August. Why are you not enforcing it?
Senator, I'll have to get back to you on what the Supreme Court
Remain in Mexico
said.
And the Third Safe Country, both those protocols. Why are you not enforcing? Even if you disregard Public Health Order 42, which you're trying to do, why are you not enforcing Remain in Mexico and Third Safe Country?
Oh, we are enforcing Remain in Mexico.
How many people
Senator,
under Remain in Mexico have you enforced the Supreme Court directive to do that? Because last I checked, it was about 400 people total.
Senator, I will get you the precise data, but let me share with you a very important point that undergirds our implementation of the Remain in Mexico program, which is formerly known as the Migrant Protection Protocols. We require the agreement of the sovereign nation of Mexico, and we have negotiated for the implementation of that program. Which you said
you had in December.
And we continue to implement it.
How many people have you required to remain in Mexico under that protocol?
I look forward to providing that data to you, Senator.
All right. Do you have preparations in your budget if Public Health Orders 42 is lifted, and how many more illegal encounters do you anticipate having? Right now, you're up to 1 million in the first half of the year. What do you anticipate when you lift Public Health Order 42?
Senator, thank you. So, first of all, allow me to express my appreciation to Congress for the appropriation that we received in fiscal year 22 to address the number of encounters at the border. In the service of fiscal responsibility and our responsibility to secure the border, we are utilizing those funds, and we, of course, provided a spending plan as to how we are doing so. We are also looking at what our resources are within the department.
The plan, the 6-point plan that you put forward is simply a plan to have more people come through faster and to process them quicker. It was not a plan to deter people from coming across illegally.
Senator-
Let me ask you one other question.
Senator,
I was down in the Rio Grande sector last year, and I just got back a week before last from the Del Rio sector. And Del Rio sector is now overtaking the Rio Grande sector for having the most people crossing illegally, and they have far fewer resources than the Rio Grande sector. Last year, when I was at the Rio Grande sector, CBP officers said people were coming in illegally from 50 different countries. 50 different countries. This year, when I was down at the Del Rio sector, you know how many countries they said people were coming in from illegally? Do you know how many? Have you had the briefing? 100 companies. Last year, 50 countries. This year, 100 countries. How can you say what you're doing is in any way effective? And are you the least bit concerned that people are coming in here illegally from 100 different countries? You don't think that's a problem? You don't think that creates drug issues, human trafficking, risks of terrorists? Is that what you're telling us?
Senator, I have a number of responses, if I may, Mr. Chairman. As I'm mindful. I'm not exactly sure how you can say that targeting and disrupting transnational criminal organizations and smuggling operations actually invites migration. I'm not exactly sure how you can say that deterring irregular migration by having partners to the south of our border interdict migrants and manage their respective
How can
borders.
you disregard the simple numbers, and that doesn't even include the gotaways, which could be another 40% more?
I'll let the witness respond, but the senator's time has expired.
And the point about individuals coming from different countries around the world underscores a very, very important point that I articulated at the outset, that the challenge of migration that the United States is experiencing is not exclusive to the United States. And in fact, it is not exclusive to even the Western Hemisphere. This is a global challenge. We have seen an unprecedented number of displaced persons around the world. And I know, Senator, I am confident that you would not have me propose that we return Ukrainians encountered at the border to Ukraine. This world is experiencing conflict. This world is experiencing economic downturn, violence in particular countries, authoritarian regimes. I am confident that, or perhaps I shouldn't be, that at least some colleagues would not want us to return every Cuban that we encountered at the border because of their claims of fear of persecution by reason of the authoritarian regime there. And quite frankly, it is that flight from that authoritarian regime that lands me here in this country, serving our country for more than 20 years.
Thank you.
Your Border Patrol and Customs and Border Protection professionals will tell you
Senator Hoeven,
they
time
could
has
secure
expired.
the border if you would enforce the tools and the laws that you have. You're not doing it.
Thank you, Senator Hoeven.